So I'm hoping that you will join me on YouTube soon. The joy of it all. You never quite know how these things are going to work out. But according to my little thing here, it's saying that I'm streaming, and I'll obviously remove all of this when I change things. I'm recording it on my computer, so hopefully, if you don't get me, then somebody will. We just have to hang on a little bit of time and just wait, because otherwise, when I start talking, I'm not in stream with everybody. It says that I should be live streaming, but I shall just hang on a few minutes and see. Let me just have a look, see where I am. This takes so much time. Let's just double check the live stream. Uh, Stop live stream when the meeting's reached capacity. So according to this, it's saying that I should be there. Let me just refresh and see. Videos, live. Come on, come on. It's really annoying, isn't it? Because you think like it's really easy. You think it's really easy. Oh yeah, it says I'm live. But it shows that I'm showing some funny picture. But anyway, let's click on that. Oh, there I am. I'm here. I wish YouTube would make it so much more easier. So do me a massive favor, if you're watching me on YouTube or anything you're watching me on, whether it be on Facebook or in the Zoom room, what have you, do me a massive favor and just put a thumbs up. If you put a thumbs up, then I know that I'm on here and everything's fine. So let me share to you. How are you doing? I hope you're okay. Life's pretty busy, getting some building work done, and getting round to things always is quite an interesting thing. The question I get asked all the time, quite frankly, is what's the best product on the market out there? Where should I go shopping? And even after 35 years of being involved in this wonderful world of cosmetics, I never seem to be able to find out all the information, really. It's really hard to try and help somebody who asks me that question straight off. What I need to do is basically ask you some questions. So I've worked with a template for the last 35 years of being able to do this. And although it might have been in my head for a little bit of that time, over the last sort of probably 5 to 10 years, I physically shared it with people. And I thought I would like to do it with you. So let me show you some information. There is an overwhelm of choice out there. Put your hands up in the air, press like, share, whatever. Just give me some notification. Okay, yeah, great food you're out there. There's a massive overwhelm out there of products on the market, and we just don't know where to turn to. But the truth is, it does need a little bit of work. But if you've done this work, once you've done it, going shopping makes life so much easier. So my goal is to simplify the shopping side of things for you. But that will also inspire you with new ideas, because when you've done a little bit of work of these type of things I'm going to go through, you'll see that it's so easy. It's all the things basically I learned when I was working in the cosmetics industry. But rather than keeping those things close to my chest anymore, my secrets of the makeup chairs are starting to be revealed. And I can't wait to share with you how things really do work. And once you understand that, going shopping for makeup products is a lot easier. So I get asked, what's the best brand? What's the best shop to go to? Offers things like 3 for 2s. Are they a good idea? I'll tell you why they're not a good idea in a minute. And I've seen so many products and makeup bags that are just not being used that it's quite simply quite painful. And it's always that thing that somebody watches a YouTube videos, and yes, here I am on YouTube, but they'll watch a YouTube video tutorial, which is one of the reasons I've never done them, of somebody showing you how to put makeup on, and at the end of it sells a load of products. So yes, I've shown you simple techniques of things to do, but it's not ultimately been a hard sell at the end saying buy this product with an affiliate code and all the rest of it. So let's go into the nooks and crannies of it. The aim for me is to give you the vision and the idea to make those informed choices, because if you're informed and you know what you want, you'll be far better informed than the people in the makeup shops who are trying to sell you more products. So I reached out to everybody this week and thank you for everyone who's come back to me on WhatsApp. I asked for your help, Facebook as well. I've heard some horror stories, but I'd like to know yours, and they've been amazing. I'm not going to share them all because they're quite simply embarrassing, some of them, but at the end of the day, it's true. Horror stories are really happening out there. I wanted to know where people are buying products. And the thing is, the challenges that you get. I mean, I work with the transgender community, and for them to go shopping is really, really difficult. You've also got people with probably scars, which I work with as well, which they feel very uncomfortable going to shops. And I also get people who just don't know what to say because the truth is, if you go shopping and you haven't got a bag of information underneath your arm of knowledge, you're going to get caught out. And the chances are, just as you can see there on me holding these products, I'm gobsmacked with the amount of products that are in people's makeup bags and they're just not being used. Now, is there such thing as a better quality? So spending more money, does that basically mean that you're going to get a lot more as far as value is concerned? Or could you just buy a 50p eyeshadow and is it going to be just as good? Well, you're going to find out in a minute. And it's better to shop in person or online because to be honest with you, sometimes it's better to go on your own. But there's some few people that you'd probably ask to go shopping with you, and I'll give you some ideas there. And there's lots of other things as well. But at the end of the day, is a price the thing that should be going for? Now, the beauty industry, I want to compare it to the car industry. And you might be thinking to yourself, why that? Well, the fact is, my nephew, my youngest nephew, is actually now working for the car industry. And I see how much time and effort he puts behind helping people buy the right car. And then I compared it to people going to shop in the cosmetics industry. And I thought, we shop completely different in the makeup industry, beauty industry, fragrance, all those kind of things. We shop completely different to any other industry. And the car industry is no exception to the rule. Because quite frankly, if you were to go and buy a car, ask yourself these questions. Do you actually buy what the salesperson tells you to buy? Do you? Do you genuinely go to a car showroom and you walk through the door, you have absolutely no idea what you want, and he said, this is the car that you need. There's not many of you out there that would just literally go, okay, yeah, fine, I'll pop it in my bag. Well, that's what you do with makeup. You go, you read an advert, or you go to the cosmetic counters and it says, you need this product if you are this age and you are this. And you go, okay, right, thank you. Now, do you know in advance what brand you want when you go and buy a car? Probably not. You probably don't really have much of a clue, but you might have done a bit of research. You might go, Tesla's definitely for me, or no, I definitely want an Aston Martin, or you might say, no, I really want a Mini. You might have some kind of idea of the type of thing that you want. And I bet you go looking for a car with a budget in mind. I bet you know I need to stick within this much, or I need to know what my options are. And at the end of the day, do you buy your car from your home, which you can these days, or do you go to a shop, or do you like to do it online? Do you like to do it with a person? I bet you've got some kind of idea. Before you go and buy that car, you say, I know who I want to go with and I know where I want to go, and this is where we're going to start. So, the customers, when they go shopping for products, so here we have a lovely client here looking at products. What she's really, really focusing on here is most probably what is the best shade and product type for me. And the truth of the matter is, there isn't really one. It's a question, really, sometimes of just buying it, isn't it? Because in this day and age, how many cosmetic counters can you go and actually try the product without having somebody there who's trying to promote the product to you? So the truth is, you're probably going to buy it and think, okay, it's kind of what I want. That's fine. You need to go and watch my video called How to Mix and Blend because you can transform any product that you buy. So let's take away that stress. Start focusing what is the right product for you. Think about going and buying a product with some other things that I'm about to tell you, which are far more important, which are things like trends and fashion. Are you really bothered with those things? And at the end of the day, do you want to save money? Have you got allergies? Is probably the most important thing you need to consider when you're going to buy your cosmetic products. And at the end of the day, packaging and image is probably the one thing that customers focus on. So we go shopping or you go shopping, and at the end of the day, you want to know the best shade, the best brand, whether I'm following a trend. I want to know that I'm saving money. I might have an allergy, and I'm really interested in what the packaging looks like. So that's why cosmetic brands spend all this money on packaging, and you walk into the shops, which quite frankly are absolutely gorgeous, and they do spend a lot of money on them. I know that for certain because I used to be the other side of the cosmetic counter, and I know how much those counters cost. But let me tell you what the brands focus on, and you might be surprised to think that it's none of those things that you were thinking on. In fact, there was only one thing that I could see that a brand thinks differently to what you do, which is the packaging and the image of it. But ultimately, brands go way out of their time with costs and money on sustainability and ethics and making a positive impact. And a lot of people like yourselves or people that you know automatically don't really give a damn. They basically think it's that brand, that color, and that's what I want. But let me tell you something. Brands spend an absolute fortune on it, and we're getting there. People are starting to think, but we really need to think about brand ethics. We need to know that brands really do focus on how many units they sell to hit a profit target. Now, what's a profit target to a brand? When when a brand puts a product out, they're going to put it on the telly, they're going to put it in a magazine, and they're going to work out that their spend is going to be £4.8 million. They then take that product, divide it by £4.8 million, and go, we need to sell that many units to cover our cost. Regardless of whether, well, I'm not going to go too deep, but regardless, that's how much they need to do. They're going to focus on expiry dates. When you're manufacturing cosmetics, you need to ensure that if a product has a 2, 3, 4 lifespan, it needs to be sold because basically you need to get that product sold through. I focus on that. I want to make sure that my clients with my treatment oils all have products which are well in date, and I know for certain that they're going to be fine and not to go off at all. They're going to really focus on, brands are, how close they can get to their customers. They're going to spend a lot of time. When I was in the industry working from the other side, working for brands, the marketing team was relatively quite small, but now they have teams set up to talk to influencers, to be on social media. That side of the business now is so much bigger, and they're going to spend a lot of time incentivizing and make sure that those brands are in the right and the best key positions in the store. There's a whole new world out there with branding in store. It's whether a brand goes on the left-hand side of a store or right-hand side of the store, lots of different things there. And at the end of the day, you know, when you buy a product and it gets discontinued, that is why they do it, because ultimately they need to sell through products, and products, any product-based business, whether it be clothes, wallpaper, material, they need a churn. And this churn is actually called trends and fashion. And this churn basically takes normally about 30 years to churn. Hands up who basically can see the fashion and it was around in the 80s and it's all starting to come through. But if you have those fashion items, people think, this thing feels dated. Let me not use it. Let me put it in the bin. Let me put it in the charity shop. I need to go and buy straight trousers now because flare trousers are no longer in vogue. And that's the same with makeup. Makeup, fragrance, skincare all goes through a churn. You do have what's known as products that don't, they're not classed as trend based. They're classed as timeless. Those are the things that I'd like you to find, because those are the things that basically you can keep reaching out to because they're not going to get discontinued. Now, promotions and gift with purchase, put your hands up if you've purchased one. Put your hands up if that gift with purchase you've ever used. I've seen so many number 7 eyeshadows, the little round ones. I think nearly everybody's brought from number 7. and they gave away obviously a lot of those little brown eyeshadows. So just be careful that if you're going to go with a gift with purchase, I know you're going to think, oh, I'm saving money, or look at this, it's worth X amount of money. But ask yourself the question for the planet, do you really need that gift with purchase? And you're better off buying something that hasn't necessarily got a gift with purchase with it. But the gift may well be brilliant, but I'm just asking you to be cautious because you can jump from brand to brand. I see it all the time. People go into shops and they see something on special offer, and they basically, as loyal as they think they are to that brand, they see this one over here that's 3 for 2, and they go, I'm going straight for that one. And at the end of the day, the brands do focus a lot on that packaging. Now, when you're behind the counter, you have a lot of responsibilities to your brand because your brand, you've got to be profitable for them. Now, behind the counter, that could be Mr. Tesco's. It's not just a person behind the counter. It could be somebody in a department store. It could be somebody in a chemist. It could be somebody who works for themselves. But ultimately, brands have to make money. And what they'll do is they'll do incentives. Now, this is just a taster of the industry as I knew it. And I've actually just spoken today to somebody who's still in the industry as a senior manager. And I asked them, do we still do commission for the girls on the cosmetic counters in the industries? Do incentivize them? And this is just to give you an idea. You might want to move into the cosmetics industry. You might think, actually, this is a great little earner. You might be really passionate, or you might know somebody. But this is a lot of the figures that are done. Now, a commission rate of 1% and 3% against target, that's great. At the end of the day, who doesn't want to be rewarded? But when we talk about influencers earning millions, then that's a whole different thing. And what you'll tend to do then is when a brand needs to push a new product to bring it to the front of the store, or to make sure that those 50 million units that they've made sell through, what they'll do is probably do some kind of gifts with it, or they might do some kind of commission. Now, not all stores can do this. Some stores do have scenarios where they're not allowed to give commission because it's not in their ethics. So there again, talking about brand ethics, it might be something that you might want to find out whether a brand is incentivized. But there's a big thing here that there's a lot of brands all on the high street, not just cosmetics, that are earning money out of things. So my key question sometimes is, are they putting your best interests at heart? Now, you can really sort this out. It's dead easy. I'm going to give you a template in a minute, which is going to work out what you want to go and get. And then you then can make sure that when you purchase products, the person who's getting rewarded the money or the incentive does it. But an average sale that companies like to look at, to give you an idea, or an average sale on the cosmetic counters is between 45 and 150 pounds a sale. Now, that might shock a lot of you, or a lot of you might think, well, that's quite cheap, but it just gives you some kind of idea. And ultimately, we've got to pay salaries, haven't we? So what we need to do is make sure we sell 45 pounds worth of stuff so we can pay you the X amount per hour your salary. It's the way the world goes around, but it's all incentivized. And what I want you to do is make sure that you're fully armed when you go to that cosmetic counter. Now, for the first time ever here, I'm going to expose something that basically a lot of you may not have a clue about. Again, you might be watching me because you want to move into the cosmetics industry. And let's face it, what you can do here is learn a lot from this. And I'm very happy to coach and support people who want to move into those roles. But the cosmetic counters aren't just at the front of the store because they look beautiful. They are, but they are the best salespeople going there. Hats off to them. They are absolutely phenomenal. And that's because of the amazing training that the cosmetic brands do. And I used to deliver this. I used to be on the cosmetic counters, and I also used to teach it as well. And I can tell you it works. So this is where you're going to get the upper hand. And this is where if you go armed with this information, when you go to the cosmetic counter, whether there's a consultant on it or whether you're going to a self-selection stand, if you can work out these points, which are the same to work out what they are going to suggest to you for you to buy, you're going to be so much more advanced with your knowledge that you'll not only make their job really easy, but you'll make it good for you. So the first thing that happens when you walk into a cosmetic store, as you know, there's somebody behind the counter. and she's going to do what's called a shopper stopper. And a shopper stopper is going to stop you in your tracks, and it's designed to get you talking to them. And they're going to use things like, they're not going to say, can I help you? If they do, then you'll just say, no, thank you. And how many people do we know now in stores we get the can I help you scenario? And let's face it, it's not very nice, is it? It's kind of like, well, I don't really know why I'm here, but I'm here and I've walked through into the store and can you help me? So they might say something like, isn't it a wonderful day out there? And you'll say, yes, it's lovely. They're going to say, so where have you been today? Have you been somewhere nice? And you're probably going to say, oh, I've been shopping. I'm going to a wedding. Oh, when's the wedding? They're going to say. And you're going to say, oh, it's next month and it's my friends and I brought a new dress and I've come to the cosmetic counter because I want to buy a new lipstick. Before you know it, you're down on the second point already, which is asking questions. And this is the research bit. This is where someone who's helping you is going to ask open questions, which are what, when, who, when, and why. When's the wedding? Who's it for? What kind of colour are you looking for? What do you normally buy? Put one of those words in front of a question. Those of you who are in sales know all this already. Put one of those questions. You are arming that person with all of the information that they need. So why not do this yourself? Why not go before you go to the cosmetic counters or before you go shopping? You might go to the supermarket to go and buy your stuff. Ask yourself your question. What is it I'm looking for? When do I want to wear it? How long do I want it to last? What kind of colour do I want it to be like? Ask yourself those questions and you'll really be able to work out what it is you need on your own. Then you're going to introduce a product. Now, the benefit of obviously going to somebody on a cosmetic counter, she's going to think of all that information and she would have gone, right, here we go. You said you wanted a pink lipstick that's got a bit of pearlescence in it. You want it long lasting and you want it in a lip gloss. And there you are. She's produced this magical product, and you're thinking to yourself, well, that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for what I want. Tries it on the back of the hand. We're in stage 4 already, which is demonstrating and testing the product. And before you know where you are, she's saying to you, so do you fancy treating yourself then? And you're going to close the sale by saying, yeah, that's great, thanks. She's probably going to go back to question 2 again and ask you some more questions, which is, what lip pencils have you got at home? Before you know where you are, you're in that link sale. But this is the selling cycle. It's used in a lot of industries. Those of you who are in sales will already know about it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's really, really quick and it's a sure way of helping customers. But if you're caught off guard, and the people that I'm really reaching out to here is the people that have come back to me with those questions saying, have you had any nightmares? And they've said, yes, I was at a makeup counter. I ended up spending £152 on products I didn't even want because they just didn't have the confidence. By the time they were sat in the chair, demonstrated the product, they felt guilty to say, I'm really sorry, but I know you've invested a lot of time in me, but I can't afford this product or I don't want it. So you know the steps of the sale, then you'll be quizzing. So let's look at my template. So these are 9 steps, which I've written down for you that I hope will help you create your own shop and brand template so you can go and buy the products you need. The first thing I want you to think about when you think about going and buying a cosmetic product is not about shades and colours. It's a different video. That's a different training. I want you to think differently here. I want you to think about you're going shopping first. I can help you with the shades and colours afterwards because I can teach you how to correct any mistakes. So even if you've got a product that was slightly wrong, I'll show you how to tweak it. But I kind of almost can't use the word guarantee, but I can kind of guarantee it's going to be less stressful if you do this. So let's look at those locations. Are you somebody who loves the ritual shopping experience? Goes to a beauty salon. She loves to be pampered. She says, gosh, that smells absolutely gorgeous. I want the whole lot. Maybe you're somebody like that. Maybe you're somebody who likes to go to a department store. They like to browse, have a look around, see what's going on. Or maybe when you're out at the chemist, you see that stand with the lipsticks on, and all you do is you like the favourite brand of lipstick that they stock, and you're just going to purchase it. Or maybe you're like you're doing right now and you're sitting and you basically are at home. So, where do you like to shop? Is my first little question I'm going to ask you to put on your template. Do you like to be at home, which obviously you can have a home rep shopping person come to you, TV online? You can see why home shopping is so popular. Look at all the options. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, they all sell your products now. Maybe the good old Amazon, it'd be with you before you've even probably put your computer down, or even you go onto your favorite brand's website. They've all got opportunities like me. People go online and buy my products. Dare I say I've missed one off there, the good old telephone, you could pick the phone up. Or maybe you like to back it into your weekly shop. So you're going to be going to like supermarkets and chemists, and you're all maybe on the high street budget type of store. Or maybe you like that indulgence experience, department store, beauty salon, or airport. So look at these, think where you would like to shop first. That way, you're going to feel in control when you go and you're one step ahead of the game. The second thing is who you're going to take with you. Are you going to go on your own? A few little messages there. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Don't forget to put some little hearts on there. Good old YouTube. DIY will help. So you've got your store sales consultant. Now, the thing about this, you don't know them. There's a really good chance you don't know them. They're going to forge a great relationship with you and you're going to get on really well with them. That's absolutely fine. But initially, you're not going to know them. So do you take your friends with you who you trust? Now, the difficulty with that is that they can also influence you massively, because what they're going to do is most definitely is they're going to say, this is where I go and these are the products that I buy. And ultimately, is that necessarily right for you? So maybe a little bit of balance of the two. So a little bit of your own research, which is again digging a little bit deeper, maybe looking at magazines, watching some videos before you go and buy, asking some friends what they buy, but making your own informed decisions. And of course, the celebrity influencer. There we go. Basically, honestly, celebrity influencers, I do question whether I should be one, because at the end of the day, I'd be a millionaire by now. But that whole celebrity influencer thing is just enormous now. And people are really, really buying a lot of products through them. And at the end of the day, if you're happy with the product and you trust that celebrity influencer, and she's the same age as you, or he's the same age as you, and has the same skin as you, and has the same eye shape as you, and has all the same as you, is then she might be perfect. But if she's blonde and you've got black hair and you've got straight hair, she's got curly hair, and she's 50 and you're 20, and she is a millionaire and you're not a millionaire, and she has a lot of time on your hands and you don't have a lot of time on your hands, it's not a really good match, is it, at the end of the day? So let's look at stage 3, which basically is obviously it's really important. I know we're not going to touch into colours, but what we do need to do is know that you are going to be comfortable with these products. So there's 4 common things that you could do here to make sure you're going to have products that are going to be okay for you. All products, first of all, conform to safety assessment tests. So these are safety assessment tests which the known allergens, irritants of skin problems are known. So if a brand was to put X amount of an ingredient in at a certain percentage that they know causes a high allergen or irritants, then they don't get it safety assessed. So a safety assessment says, yes, the population of people are good to use these products. It's good, but at the end of the day, there are still people, for example, who are sensitive to some of the simplest of products. I mean, like lanolin or nut allergies and stuff like that. So you know yourself if you've got your own allergens to be mindful of. So learn what irritants are, and you can do this by patch testing individual products that you already have in your makeup bag. And how to patch test, I've done a video on this. If you want to know how to patch test properly, you could find out if some of the stuff you've already got, you're actually sensitive to it, and you need to do a controlled zone test to patch test. Now, the big question I get asked, and I got asked this today, I'm moving away from products, I'm going to go all mineral. Well, you can get mineral-based products and chemical-made products, and chemical-made products are literally, which are obviously man-made. You do hear stories about chemical-made products are safer than mineral products, because a chemical-made product is a recipe that's repeated every single time. Mineral product is something that's taken out of the ground. So not that grass is in cosmetics, but let's say grass. Imagine grass was in cosmetics. You know yourself, you've got thin grass and you've got thick grass. You've got young grass and you've got old grass. So if grass was a part of your cosmetic, you could one day be fine with it and another day, based on another mix or blend, it could be slightly different. So I wouldn't just see a chemical and run away from it. Sometimes chemicals based products are some of the most safest products you can get. Let's face it, the drug industry is based around chemicals. How are you going to make sure this works for you? Contact the company directly and ask for their ingredients list. Now, it will be on the back of the packaging, it probably will be on the website, but the truth is it's so tiny you can hardly read it. So if you can get the listing of the raw ingredients that are inside cosmetic products, then if you use that product, guess what? You know that you're okay with all those ingredients. But if you're not, you know somewhere down the line there's an ingredient in there that's not making your skin very happy. So let's look at my fourth step, which is price. So is there the best makeup brand out there? And I always repeat back, there is for what you want. So I've done a little bit of work here with there's four main categories of cosmetics. Mastige is a new word now to what I used to. It used to be called mass cosmetics, but I think mastige is a combination of mass market and prestige combined together. But you sit under an average unit product. So I'm talking here a lipstick, a mascara. You can obviously get a lot cheaper, which are very, very cheap, would be under £10. But these are the majority of people who buy. So most of those products in a budget or mass market, mastige brand will be £15. If £15 is what you want to spend on your cosmetic individual products, go online, search budget cosmetic brands. There you go, there's your list. Okay. If you like niche or mid-range products, they're probably going to be about £20 to £35 a product. Again, search mid-range niche cosmetic brands. There you go. There's all the brands that are going to suit you. And if you're a premium or you're a professional based person, you're probably going to be paying between 40 and sometimes as much as £60 for a product. They tend to be slightly more dense in product for a professional based product. They're much thicker sometimes. They need more blending, more working. But ultimately, luxury products could be that price purely because of the packaging is a very expensive packaging. And for a professional product might be that price because they tend to be bigger products. So instead of an average 30 ml size, there might be a 100 ml size. So let's look at individual items based on an average amount of products in makeup bags. There is an average, I've worked this out over the years, these are my figures. An average makeup bag has 20 items. That could be one lipstick, 9 eyeshadows, 10 foundations. It's any kind of mix up. It's colours and everything added up individually. So if you've gone for the budget type of range and you're looking about a £20, then you're going to be looking at £200 for the cost of your makeup range. 20 of £20, 400, and you can see their example. So I want you to look at your budgets and see how much money you really do want to spend, because I can tell you, I have seen makeup bags that are holidays worth, like to the tune of several thousands. So if you want to keep your products in range, that's where you need to go with. Now, there's just a little something I want to add to that, is that, as I said to you, an average makeup bag, so if we space it on 1 to 40 items, giving you the 20, they're listed there, some of the main products, which if you're thinking to yourself, I couldn't possibly have that many products. Well, you've got everything from foundation bases to contour to blusher to highlighter to lip liners to lipstick. The list goes on. And I've only listed some there that I was thinking on the top of my head this morning. But at the end of the day, I want you to think about this. Most cosmetic items, once you've opened them, last for 12 months. So that's where your £200 budget comes in per year. Because in theory, you replenish your products, don't you, every year? Because in theory, they run out every 12 months. Now, if they don't, because you've kept them, that's your call. But at the end of the day, cosmetic brands have a sell-by date on their products. And if you don't know how to work out a sell-by date, I've done videos on it. Send me a message. and I'll send you a link so you can watch it. I can tell you how to work out a sell by date. I can also share with you how to make the sell by date last a little bit longer. And I just want to say to you, gift with purchase for the second time, please be very aware. This is me in my studio with my pink lights on behind me, with the lovely Helen who took these photos. My makeup bag throwaways. This is a tiny little bit, they're all there behind me, of some of that particular week or month eyeshadows or lipsticks or what have you that people had. Those eyeshadows there are going to last you most probably the best part of 3 years. I don't know about 12 months, but if you've got 20 of them and they last 12 months, in theory, you've got 20 years worth of eyeshadows. Now, I don't mind it if you like it because you like lots of different colours. But if you watch my mix and blend workshop that I did not so long ago, you'll understand that you can actually mix and blend a few colours. So if you can have 6 colours, you might be able to get 26 colours. So I want you to be savvy. I want you to save money. I want you to be savvy with your stuff. And special offers, taking advantage of sales and special promotions, be careful. Subscription services and loyalty cards can sway you quite a lot. So do be careful. And here's me with a few more products. This is where people leave more products with me than walk away with. So the seventh thing is definitely ethics. You must now start to be having ethics in your life. If you haven't, where have you been? But there's ethics for recycling your rubbish. There's ethics for how fast you drive your car. There's ethics on what clothes you buy, whether they use a lot of water to make them. There's ethics on what food you buy. There's ethics on packaging. We've got ethics coming out of our ears all the time, hearing about these things. And yes, they are a way that brands sell products, but the truth is, we need to start thinking about them, and it's not just a disposable world. And for me personally, the amount of makeup that I see thrown away breaks my heart. And at the end of the day, it's something that could easily be avoided. I want you to think about, you'll have thought about your price now, and you're now thinking about, okay, where do you like to shop? And you'll be Googling all of those brands now that fit into your price bracket. So whether it's mass market or budget or whatever, I just want you to start thinking about, once you've worked those things out, I want you to look at their packaging. Do you really want plastic at the end of the day? Is it something that you can recycle? If it's something that's got lots of branding all over it, the truth is, unless it's completely solid plastic, you probably won't be able to recycle it anyway. Glass is the best option. That's what I use for my treatment oils. Oh, I've got a new label I should show you, but I'll show you that another day. Recyclable. I spelled that right? Recyclable. My spelling's always not brilliant. Are you going traveling? Glass isn't going to be the right one for you, is it? So maybe you want to decant, and the luxury look, is that what you fall for? Have you got the top of a range house there and you want those beautiful solid gold containers that, they do them. They're like £600 a pot, and they've got solid gold spoons inside them. Location. Now, this isn't just where you're going to buy it. I want you to think about how many miles has it done. So if it's come all the way from America, it's done a lot of miles. If it's come from obviously like the UK or Ireland, it's done less. So think about that, and the employee care. We know that not all countries have the same rights for employees. So if it's made in a X country, the ones, basically make sure you research. Are they paid well? Are they looked after? It might actually be really good for that country. You never know. And international versus startup. So I'm a startup. Yes, I've been going for 30 years, but at the end of the day, I'm a local business that basically is, I'm not on the international stage whatsoever. And at the end of the day, would you like to buy my skincare off me? Would you like to do that? Or would you like to go and buy a multi-billionaire brand where you're just a number? So does that give you? And vegan or animal-based products, a lot of people don't realize there's quite a lot of products out there that are animal based. There's collagen ingredients. I don't know whether they can do synthetic collagen, but basically that might be fish. Beeswax is not vegan because basically it harms the bees harvesting it, apparently. So lanolin, lots of people are allergic to lanolin. That comes from sheep's wool. So not all of the things are harmful to animals. We've moved on because we now can make things that match them in a chemical way, and we can move away from those things. Number 8, let's talk about trends and timelessness. So, you can get timeless. So, those beautiful items that basically never date. And makeup can be like that. Makeup, you can think of, I wanted to put a picture on here about for breakfast at Tiffany's. When I was doing weddings for all those years, the first thing I used to say to them was, "What look do you want?" And I'm not sure. And I said, "Well, what about something timeless like breakfast at Tiffany's?" And it didn't matter whether they were 21 years old or a 81-year-old bride. They all turned around and went, "Yeah, I'd love to look like breakfast at Tiffany's with that timeless look." So the industry, or any industry, whether it be fashion, makeup, fragrance, needs to rinse and repeat. We need trends to come through to bring customers to the counter to look at the new things that we've done. And you normally find it's about every 30 years. Like I was saying, who's seen the fashion out there at the moment who's around in the 80s? And I've even kept a rug that's got like patterns on it that I nearly threw away. And it looks very 70s. And I thought, actually looks really nice. Following a trend is a feel-good factor and it will change. So I just want you to bear in mind how many of you have gone to a shop and gone back to buy that lipstick and it's discontinued. And they'll say, "Oh, it was only here for the summer." So what did you do? You brought 6 of them and then you never got through them, or you might have gone off it by then, or the expiry date might have kicked in. But let me tell you something. Following a timeless fashion of your own is also a feel-good factor. And it's a mindset. It's something that if you feel comfortable in your own skin, you don't have to be influenced by fashion. There's nothing nicer than getting something out of your wardrobe that you haven't worn for years and choosing it. Now, on to my last point here, which is number 9. What you want. Is that a really obvious thing? So, what you want is all of those 8 points I've mentioned, plus pulling this together now. I want to encourage you to have some self-reflection and some real thought process about when you go and buy your next cosmetic product. What is your personal goal? Really dig deep into your brand ethics, your price point, your budgeting. And I can guarantee if you get those right, I'm not going to guarantee, I shouldn't use that word, but I can definitely say if you get most of that right, the products will just happen. You'll be amazed. You'll feel happy because you'll feel that this product is great because it's recyclable, or you'll feel really happy because this product was within your budget. You'll feel happy because basically the place that you brought it from is a comfortable place that you like, be it a massive department store or your local chemist. And explore your individual needs, because basically a lot of us don't prioritize them. We don't do the self-love a lot these days. We put ourselves under enormous pressure of social media and we feel that we should be falling into those categories. But some of the most simple pleasures of feeling good, which is what the beauty industry is striving for constantly, are free, which are little things like giving yourself a hug or putting a nice dress on, watching a sunset or something. So really think about some of the simple things, which is why on my treatment oils, they're called treatment oil for your beauty and your mindset. I've pulled that in now, because when you use a really nice product that you really love and you feel good with, then it makes you feel good. And the very last one here I'm going to say is get ready for the what, when, who, when, and why. Because at the end of the day, if you can answer those questions, whether you go with a friend shopping or whether you go and see somebody in a store to help you or whether you're on your own, if you've got some of those key things there, and if you email me or pop a message or a comment, I'll send you this template and you can fill it out to find out your brands that are going to be right for you. And I'd love to know what they are. So creating your own personalized brand template will make a massive amount of difference. So it's that location where you're going to go and shop. Are you going on your own, or are you going to go and find somewhere that can give you some help? Now, we know there's lots of questions here that I get asked, which is you can't test products on the cosmetic counter anymore. I've had a lot of that feedback from that. Well, I can help you with that. But for this video tonight, I wanted to separate out the thought of which is the right color for you and which is the right texture of foundation. Those are quite easy to answer. I wanted here to cover off the going shopping experience that makes a big difference. You've got your price that you want to spend on average. How much do you want your makeup bag to be worth? Do you want it to be £200 worth, or do you want it to be £400? I want you now to go and get your makeup bag, and I want you to get a calculator out, and I want you to add up how much is inside your makeup bag. And the best one, I want you to tell me how long you've had those makeup products. So trends versus timelessness. Don't forget that timelessness gives you as much pleasure and have fun doing it. Now, I'm just going to go back onto a big screen in a minute, but there's a few Q&As that I got through that I will run through. But I wanted to let you know about the next money saving beauty live that I'm doing, which is on Tuesday, the 12th of November. I tend to move the days around. Today is a Monday, I believe. Is it still Monday? Is it still Monday? So 12th of November, 8 to 9 again. I'll be live on YouTube for an hour between 8 and 9 o'clock. And I'm going to be covering how to define your features. So for those of you who are sitting there going, oh, I really want to know what's the right thing for me, you need to watch this next video. This video that I did last time was about mixing and blending and lots of other things that I've done. But the next video is, these are your lovely features. And at the end of the day, you might feel like you can't see what are your best features. But at the end of the day, other people can. So one little bit of homework that I'm going to get you to do before next month's live, I want you to just go around and ask people what they think your best features are. I think it's my hair for me. I like my hair. I've always had quite good lips. So I've always, they've not gone thin yet, so I'm quite good with those. My eyelids are dropping a little bit now. My eyebrows used to be quite good. My skin's not bad. I get good and bad times with my skin. But at the end of the day, I want you to work out what you think, and then I want you to ask people what they think are your best features. And when we can work those out, you'll get a little bit of a plan of what we want to do. And it's about defining your features. Now, when you define your features, ultimately what you want to do is perhaps bring out the ones that you particularly like. So that's why it needs to be those things there. So let's just stop the share. So stop share, and I'll pop back into the room. Where am I? Where am I? Go down there. Zoom. Am I back? Where am I? Where am I? Oh, don't you just hate the way Zoom does things? Am I back in the room? I am back in the room, but where I am, I don't know. Oh, there I am. The joy of a Apple computer. Why won't you go away? I'll just have to talk to myself on here. I don't want to do that because go away. I can see that I'm here anyway, so I'll keep talking to you. So some of the questions that I've been asked is, I covered it off, one of them off was about the mineral element. I would like to move to mineral-based products. Now, this is something that if you're really into that, it might be because you have health concerns, or it might be because something that you've read and you feel that you really do want to focus on being good to the planet, for example. But at the end of the day, do bear in mind that some of these products you may still well be sensitive to. So don't confuse natural products with necessarily all being good for your skin. So just be mindful if you're doing it for a health reason. There's lots of brands out there. I'm not going to sit here and reel them off. Google now does a fantastic job for that. What you're going to do is you're going to go into Google and you go, give me a premium, if that's your price you want to pay, mineral-based makeup product that you can buy in a department store or online. It'll come right in front of your eyes. You might want to buy products that are within a certain budget. So you might say, tell me a mineral-based range that's a budget range that I can buy online. Or you might even give me a special offer. And Google does a great job now of searching the internet. And it might be that you buy off the internet, or it might be that you just use that knowledge. So when you go into stores, I personally love shopping when I go to airports, which is one of the questions that I get asked, which is it good to buy from airports? Now, airports do have a policy, as far as I'm aware, but do check this out before you buy, that if you buy a product, you can return it if there's a fault with it or if there's something wrong with it. But be very careful if you're buying products that you've never used before from airports, because you might find that you might not be able to return them. And that's my only clause there. The same with online shopping. Be careful, because that might have a 14 or a 20-day return. It might also be in their policy that you have to pay for the returns, which if you're ordering something like a cosmetic product, first class post, like when I post my treatment oils, for example, I can tell you they're like £4.25. So be mindful of that, and you may not get the postage back to you at the end of the day. Now, the other thing that people ask is regards to expiry dates. This came up in a roundabout way with a couple of people. When you have products and you've not opened them and they've gone past their expiry date, should you still use them? It's not strictly part of this video, but I'll just give you my thoughts. If you've kept that product in a nice cool place that's protected it, there's a chance that potentially it might still be okay. But that product's been tested, and if that product says it expires on a certain date, then you can still use it, but just be mindful that you might not find the products in its prime. So a lot of cosmetic products have oils and waxes in them, and sometimes they can start to break down. They can become a little bit hypersensitive as well. So you might find that product. This also might be true if you've got some products you've had for a while and your skin's suddenly gone red and sore. You might think you've got a bit of rosacea, or you might think that you've got a bit of an allergy or something. It could be because the products that you're using have gone a little bit older. And as far as makeup brushes are concerned, the question that I got asked when Julie asked me was, when you buy a makeup brand, should you buy the makeup brushes that go with that brand? Well, I think most of you know that that wouldn't be true. You can buy whatever brand of brush to go with whatever brand of cosmetics you want. It's completely up to you as far as that's concerned. But you might find that the brand of brushes, if you're buying like a mass market brand, then you probably find that their brushes would be mass market as well. Now, when you go to a shop, I'll give you a little bit of nugget here. When you go to a shop and they don't have testers, this is something that's really come up quite a lot. What you're going to do, let me just get one for you. I'll just stand up and go over here. You're going to take your favourite product. Let's pick up a foundation here. Let's just grab something else. Let's grab a pencil. Here's your little secret. You're going to go into that shop to buy your product, and you can't test it, right? You can't test the colour. And that's possibly because there's no testers, or it could be because there's no staff there, or they just don't have testers. What you're going to do is you're going to take in the product that you were using, but you're going to get your new repeat of that product before this product's run out. So you need to not let your products run down completely. That means you can go into a shop with the product that you're currently using, and you can then compare it, even if it's just the packaging and the colour inside it, which is why I always like see-through containers. You can then compare it on the counter to a slightly like for like, and you will probably be about 80% there. You need to understand about pearlescence and textures, which is again something that I've done many a video on. If you need specific information about that, email me and I'll try and find it in a video and share it with you. But at the end of the day, that's my little secret tip for you. If you don't have it in a cosmetic product, so say for example, I'm just going to do this because it's here. Say for example, you want to, we're on the hour, so I'm just finishing now. Say for example, this is the colour eyeshadow that you want. Okay, so you want this colour eyeshadow, but you don't have it as an eyeshadow because obviously you haven't had a grey eyeshadow yet. Find something in your house that is that colour. Let's face it, if we were going to buy a pair of curtains to match the cushions, you'd take the cushions into the shop, wouldn't you? So why don't you think like this when you go into cosmetics? Take something that's a similar colour or texture. Sometimes people do take their whole dress in. I've seen it before now. Obviously, when people come to see me at the studio, it's not a problem. Might be a little bit difficult, but you might be able to even just take a picture of the dress or find something in your house that might match it, which might make a difference. So I hope that helps you as far as going into the shops and buying products. The other questions as far as choosing colours of things, don't let the products run out. The second thing, obviously, was regards to feeling really guilty when you go into a shop. I know Jill was saying that to me when she goes into a shop and she feels really under pressure to buy products. If you go into the shop and say to them, I've got my information, I've got my swatch of the colour I want to match, I've got my old product I want to match, I only want to spend this much money. If they can't tick all those boxes, then she could quite happily, you could say to her, yeah, carry on doing what you're doing, but that is what my budget is. And just be really strong about it and don't get pushed into a situation that you don't want, because as we all know, cosmetics are very difficult to take back. And it's also, if you think you feel uncomfortable on the counter, you imagine going back to return the products even more uncomfortable, which is why I think a lot of people buy cosmetics online, is because they don't have that embarrassment of having to choose products. There's a lot of information. A little word of warning buying online is the colours of your computer screen will not be the same colours of the products, because if your pixels and your colour hue on your computer screen is different to what the website is, it's going to look cherry red on the website. And when you get it home, it'll probably be something like brick red, and you'll be saying to yourself, it's not the right product. So I hope that's helped you. Please put your thumbs up on my channel. If you watched it back on replay, put a little comment on there. I've moved forward now with regards to sharing my stuff as free as I possibly can. Still sell my treatment oils, sell my brushes. I still have my 3-hour sessions with me, which you can come and see me. I'll sort out your makeup bag for you if you want, and we can do it that way. But at the end of the day, a massive thank you. And I look forward to seeing you on next month's, which is all about features. Bye.